Hi, I'm Crystal,
And I'm Karin.
and you're listening to the Rom-Com Detectives. Welcome to Rom-Com Detectives, episode 72, Lisbon Loafers, the next episode in our Mentalist unit. Today, Karin and I will be breaking down the fourth episode of season 2 called Red Menace.
This episode originally aired on October 15th, 2009. It was written by Leonard Dick and directed by Noberto Barba.
Which is a name I'm very familiar with from Law and Order.
Yeah?
Yeah, he
Nice.
directs a lot of our Law and Order stuff. I think he's a showrunner too, maybe for SVU. Not sure. Okay, case briefing. Let's hear from Karin what it says in the DVD booklet.
Patrick straddles a hog and bellies up to a biker bar to solve the murder of a mouthpiece for a vicious motorcycle gang.
They make it sound like he rode the bike to the club. Lisbon made him get right off.
I know. It turns a 2-second moment into something much bigger.
Mom said no. Title relevance. A menace is a term sometimes used to describe terrible drivers. And in this case, the killer was the victim's son, who was a terrible driver, who was out with his dad to practice driving. And that's when the murder happened. So when I first looked this up for the anniversary post, I didn't know
Yeah.
that that's what people are called. Like I didn't know that menaces are terrible, specifically terrible drivers. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't find that easily with my little research. It was about communism. I'm like, no, that's not it. But they did have the biker gang wearing red bandanas and like the biker bar was all, had red lights and everything. So
Yeah.
I think it could partially be about the biker gang too.
Yeah. Victim and cause of death. The victim was Gordon Hodge, and he died from blunt force trauma to the head.
Why the CBI is involved? The body is right on the city line, so there were two departments that couldn't decide whose case it was. The location is in Deerfield, California.
Which I looked up, and it doesn't seem to be a real town.
No,
It's
and it seemed to be
it's a neighborhood in Irvine, but that's about it.
yes, and within context, it seems to be around Sacramento. So
Yeah. The killer in this one was, like I said, the victim's son, Lucas, and he had cover-up assistance from his mother.
the motive was anger. It was a crime of passion.
Guest stars. There were kind of a lot in this one. There's Abby Bramall. She played Constance / Diamond. She's from Bosch, the unit. She had a guest appearance on Castle, and she was also on the show. So she's done a lot of cop shows. And then there's Mac Brandt. He played the biker Xander. He's from Prison Break, Colony, and Kingdom. Julia Campbell, who played Mrs. Hodge, was from The Resident, Austin and Alley, and Dexter. And then the two big ones are Mark Pellegrino. Mark played Vaughn McBride. He's from Lost. He's Jacob from Lost.
Yeah,
in case people
that's right.
weren't sure. And then oh my god, on Dexter, he was Rita's ex-husband, the really bad ex-husband.
See, when I see him, I always feel like I've seen him in so many things, but I can never place him. And I always like, oh, I must
Yeah.
just know him from watching The Mentalist over and over.
No, he's got a very recognizable face to me. But he's also been on Supernatural and 13 Reasons Why. And then Molly Price, she played Felicia Guthrie. She's from Third Watch, Law and Order, and she was on Will Trent. She
Oh.
was Angie's mom.
Oh, all right.
Dee Dee, who now resides in the sewers.
Yes.
Weirdly, she's only credited with one episode, and I was like, I could have sworn her mom was in more than one episode. Was she only in one?
I felt like she was. I felt like she was in more than one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
thought
there
so,
were like
yeah.
flashbacks, and then there was the one where she was in the hospital. But I could have sworn there was more than one. But she's only credited with one episode. I don't know why.
Interesting. Hmm. Are you all caught up with Will Trent then?
No, I'm almost there. I have a few left to go. I'm making my way through.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Jane's skills on the episode. He has sense of smell. I thought that one was funny. A code reading, lie detection, and then he does a con slash sting, which doesn't really involve the team this time.
No, not at all.
It's a hidden con slash sting. Any other ones that you can think of?
Nah, that I think that covers it.
Yeah.
I mean, he is an excellent, driving instructor,
Eh,
apparently.
yes. All right, episode breakdown. Jane and Lisbon arrive at the crime scene, and Jane remarks that it's lovely. She's like, it's a crime scene. It's a lovely
It's a
crime
lovely
scene.
crime scene.
But so Rigsby fills him in that joggers found the body, and it's still fresh, so he thinks that he probably died last night. Everything on him was taken except one cufflink. One is gone, but one still remains on his shirt. And so, because of this, Lisbon doesn't think that it's an actual carjacking, which is what the local police suspected, I guess. That's when Jane sniffs him. This is where we get the sense of smell notation. He's able to determine from his clone that he's a lawyer or a fixer or some kind of guy who like has like a macho exterior. He's an extrovert, and Lisbon's like, well, he's no use to us until we know who he is. So that's when Jane pulls his Bluetooth out of his ear and he calls home because I guess the light is still on. So that means that the phone is somewhere,
Ye
somewhere in the
yeah.
bushes.
It's just so crazy that they would take everything but not his Bluetooth. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
don't
would
know.
just think that would be a completist, but anyway.
Well, it was a crime of passion and he's a kid.
True.
So this wasn't, this wasn't planned. So he makes a call to home, and a woman answers, and Jane gives her this very specific description of
Yes.
him. And she says, "Oh, that's my husband, Gordon Hodge. Is something wrong?" And he's like, "Oh," and he gives it to Lisbon. He's like, "It's for you. It's for you." But they go to the house, and there's the bikes outside. See, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, Jane's gonna get on that thing at some point." But it turns out that Gordon Hodge is was a lawyer for the Sinner Saints, one of the top biker gangs in the state, and the wife talks about how they were his only client, and he was a one-man operation. He didn't trust anybody with like the information from the gang, so he didn't even have a secretary. During their questioning, Rigsby gets kind of aggressive. Yeah. He's like, "Did you see any of these scumbags?"
Oh,
What did he say anything else? Because I mean, Lisbon was just getting kind of irritated with him, right?
yeah, he was, very, unkind.
To her, yeah. Just basically like critiquing her, not like
Yeah,
putting up a fuss about his client.
and Jane kinda calls him on it just by highlighting they're dangerous criminals or scumbags, as my colleague says. So he's picking up on it for sure.
Mrs. Hodge defends her husband's choice of client, and then the team leaves. Outside, Lisbon scolds Rigsby because she's like, "Hey, did you?" I like her snark here though. She's like, "Did you go to a different interrogation school?" But Cho meets them outside. And he tells them Hodge's car was found in a lake, and that 2 weeks ago, Gordon was busted with drugs in his pockets and arrested, but the DA dropped the charges. So now they're thinking that maybe he made a deal with the DA to inform on his clients, and so maybe the Saints killed him. But and meanwhile, while they're talking, Jane gets on the bike. So Lisbon says that they're gonna go talk to the bikers, and Rigsby's like, "You want me to come as backup?" And she's basically like, "No, I can handle myself.
Oh, I'm not sure how wise she was being, but
I mean, she's pretty fearless.
yeah, she is.
I mean, they get there and she just goes in and she's like, "Hey, I want to talk to your leader." And she's like, she doesn't even blink, right? When like they
No. And she does not, I mean, right away, she's like, I'm a cop. So it's like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
But first she has to get Jane because he's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
with her. She's like, "Get off the bike. Let's go." And I love that he listens to her, but he's still like so happy that he got to ride, that he got to sit on it because he's just
Yes.
grinning.
Yes, he's very pleased.
Yeah. So they head to they arrive at the Saints clubhouse and Cho calls her and gives her an update that the DA didn't drop the charges because of a deal. It was because they didn't have a solid case and they've been losing too much to the Saints, so they decided to just drop the matter. And then apparently the DA tells Cho to stay away from the Saints. So the impression we're supposed to get here is that they're very, very dangerous. And this has been hit straight into the club. She's like, "That's sound lawyerly advice."
And I'm not taking it.
I do want to note though, because that Cho is talking to her from on top of the metal walkway. We had
Yeah.
said, I think, in the last episode that, oh, we don't see the team up there too often, and then right away they prove us wrong.
I feel like there are some directors who are just like, how can we approach the bullpen from a different angle?
Yeah. So inside, Lisbon wants to talk to. How did she get? They don't say how she gets the saint's name, the leader's name, right? She just walks in there and she's like, "I want
Uh-uh.
to talk to Von McBride," but she's she's dealing with the bikers, and Jane heads to the back, and he figures out who they're looking for just by the way he's playing pool. I guess I don't know. I wasn't really clear on how he knew it was him. Jane
Mm-mm.
starts the whole thing that he does sometimes where he's just dropping hints about something that he's made up. Like this informant. What was the thing that he did before? Oh, is the Miles Thorson, right? Whenever
Yep.
he's dropping hints and stuff like that. He's basically trying to get people to think a certain way so that he can like manipulate that situation or that scenario how he wants.
Yeah. I wonder how much of it he's trying to create a bubble of safety also. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, he definitely has a payoff for it, but I wonder because Lisbon's so upfront about who they are in a dangerous, they're surrounded by bikers here. Just wonder how much he wants to create a bubble of uncertainty so that they have some
They're a
safety
little
in the
thrown off,
situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he does a code reading on the biker who's trying to kick them out, whose name is Xander. And I guess this kind of not impresses Vaughn, but it gets him to relax enough where he invites them to sit down for a drink and he'll talk to them. So Lisbon is talking to him and his girlfriend Diamond while Jane plays pool, and then they're interrupted by a screaming woman outside who's being tossed out by some bikers. Lisbon tries to defend her, and the lady just gets in her truck and leaves, and she tries to stop her so that she can talk to her, but yeah, she just takes off. So this mystery woman is somebody that Lisbon really wants to find out the identity of for a while in the episode. Jane and Vaughn are watching from inside, and he asks him, "Oh, who is that?" And he denies knowing her. And Jane just looks at him. He looks like he's kind of marveling at him. He's like, "You're a really good liar."
Yeah.
But he says that, "Oh, that's usually a marker for a sociopath." And the guy Vaughn doesn't even blink. He's basically like, "Yeah," he's basically saying, "Yeah, sounds about right." I'm a sociopath. But okay, so back at the CBI, Cho and Rigsby tell Lisbon that there's no other gang who can compete against the Saints. And Jane, meanwhile, is reading about the Saints in a magazine. He's like, wow, they even have their own website. And it's funny that he's talking about merchandise for the bikers here, and this is actually something in Lucifer too. There's a biker gang in an episode, and they have merchandise too. But Jane's like, we should do that too. Sensible shoes, right?
Yeah, what else are the CBI gonna market?
So is it just me because Jane like looks a little weird? He says, "Oh, they have various other knickknacks." So it kind of seems like they
Yeah,
have X-rated merch.
it does. It does imply that. Yes, I got the same vibe.
But this is and like I think a lot of people really like this one where he talks about the sensible shoes. He goes Lisbon loafers. So what other like merchandise could the rest of the team have?
Like chose sunglasses or a hat.
Chose disguise.
Yes.
Chose undercover disguise. Rigsby.
Van Pelt could do a mouse pad.
Rigsby could be like a anti-fire blanket.
There you go. I was thinking
Oh my
ramen
god.
packets.
That would make a good stakeout snack. Have you ever eaten tried ramen? That was like the go-to snack for me when I was a kid. Where
Oh
you
goodness, no,
basically
I
take
have not. I've
Really?
heard of it. I've heard of it.
Oh, you should try it. Yeah, you crush it up and you put it in a Ziploc bag, or you just put it right back in the package, and then you sprinkle the seasoning packet on top, and you just eat it like that. It's a nice crunchy snack.
I'll take your word for it.
Van Pelt checks the phone records of Hodge and finds that he's been in contact with a Constance Hoyt, who they don't know who that is, but they're presuming that's a girlfriend. But Constance turns out to be Diamond, who is Vaughn's girlfriend. And so Lisbon and Van Pelt go to talk to her as they get there just as she's leaving. She ignores Lisbon and takes off on her bike. And this little scene just kind of cracked me up because
Uh-huh.
Lisbon still is treating Grace like the baby. Like she's like, "I'll drive," and it's like Van Pelt's like, "No time," because it just is based on like what side of the car they're on when they're rushing to the
Yeah.
car, I guess. Yeah, so Grace just jumps in the driver's seat. But she wants to save time. But she also says, "Seatbelt, boss." What? I was like, okay, you sounded like a badass like 2 seconds ago, and now you don't. And even listen, it's like, come on, just go.
I know, I had to double check. I'm like, "So did she put her seatbelt on?"
Did
Because
she?
which she did. She did, but
Okay.
it's really hard to see, and Lisbon, like, the way they're shooting it, Lisbon keeps, like, clutching at the dashboard, and
Oh my god.
so it's just yeah, it's kinda hard to tell.
But yeah, they go through this harrowing car chase where like Van Pelt charges through a metal gate and everything, and she like, because I guess Lisbon's like, she's going too fast. We're not gonna be able to catch her, and so Grace is just like, no, we will get her. And she takes a shortcut through a field, and she gets her to crash onto the road. And Lisbon remarks, "I should let you out of the office more often."
And I just wanted to note, this is the same Van Pelt who couldn't figure out how to start the van 3 episodes ago.
Okay, but I'm gonna say that Van Pelt is the kind of person who'd be like, "Oh my god, that was so embarrassing," and she went and
Yep,
practiced how to start
yep,
cars
I could
for
see
like a
that.
week or two until she got it. She would have been like, "I
Prac
don't want to be embarrassed like that ever again. I'm
practice
gonna
starting cars.
practice." Right? Doesn't that seem like something she would do?
I do, but how would you practice, like, driving like this? Is she going on to
I
stunt
don't.
tracks and
I
stuff?
have
And
no idea. Well, I mean, maybe. Okay, so yeah, actually, that doesn't really make sense. The whole like not knowing how to start the van thing, because isn't it established in Flame Red that her dad fixed cars or something? Or doesn't she like impress the mechanic
y
guy in
yeah,
Flame?
something like that. Yes. Yes.
Inconsistency there.
Yeah.
She's not clueless about cars.
It must have been just something about that particular van because it was one of the
Yeah. Yeah.
bigger vans.
The ignition isn't different though. I used to drive a big van like that for my mom to deliver flowers for her florist, and it starts the same as any other car.
But there were extra buttons. There were extra buttons
Okay.
because there was a siren in it, so
Okay. So at Hodge's office, Cho and Risby head inside, and Cho's like, "What's your problem with bikers?" And he says that he hates them and his dad was one. And Cho's like, "I didn't know that." And he's like, "I thought you read my file." And he says that all it said was that Rigsby's dad was a big time criminal, but it didn't give any specifics. So he didn't know that his dad was a biker.
it's surprising he wouldn't have asked though, because I mean, big time criminal is kind of a red flag, I would think.
Yeah. Especially if that's your partner, right?
Yeah.
So they're about to go inside and they see Jimmy Marks on top of Hodge's door. And so they draw their guns and head inside, and the place has been tossed and no one's there. And but Cho finds "Burn in Hell" spray painted on the back of his door. So they've brought Constance in, and Jane and Lisbon are questioning her. And she says
Yes.
she ran away from them because the Saints are paranoid about informants right now. Thanks, Jane.
It's working.
Yeah. Jane accuses her of having an affair with Gordon, which she initially denies, but he just looks at her and like examines her face, and magically determines, no, you were. And she's like, okay, fine, I was. And she said that Gordon treated her nice, but she claims that she was gonna break it off with him, right? So she's trying to explain, like, because as we mentioned earlier, like Van Pelt had checked his call logs and she was the last person he talked to on the phone. And they explained this later, but basically, she was calling him that night she could break it off. That's what she says.
That's what she says.
She says that she called him, he picked up, but he didn't answer. And that becomes important later. And I think that might be part of how Jane figures things out. But yeah, so he doesn't answer her. So they don't actually talk. She talks to him, but he never answers. And Constance asks Lisbon to make sure that Vaughn doesn't find out that she was sleeping with Gordon because she says that he'll kill her. So, and then she says that only one other person knew about their affair, and that's Mrs. Hodge. So Lisbon goes to talk to her, and she finds out that she found out 4 months ago. I think it was a valet ticket or something. She found something in his
Something like
pocket.
that. Yeah, something
Followed
that
him,
referenced the
or
hotel, and then she followed him.
oh yeah, yeah, a motel wouldn't have a valet, right?
If it's a really nice hotel.
But she said motel, right?
Did she? I
I
could
don't
check.
know.
The Deerfield Inn.
Oh, okay.
So
That sounds like a
they
motel.
don't. Yeah, well, I mean, and they kind of imply that it's a smaller town too, but
Yeah, yeah. So back at the CBI, Lisbon is telling Jane that she thinks, oh, it's possible that she did it, out of anger. But he says, no, she didn't. And that it's easier to close your eyes and pretend the misery doesn't exist. Rigsby and Cho show them camera footage of the break in at Hodge's office, and it's the woman from the parking lot, but they still don't know who she is. But Lisbon takes a photo of her with Jane back to the clubhouse, and they show it to Vaughn, and says she was seen breaking into Hodge's office. And he's like, well, did she find anything? But it's like, how is she supposed to know?
oh, right.
But after a while, he identifies her as Guthrie, sister of a man that he was accused of killing, but Hodges recently got him off from his murder charge. Lisbon thanks him, and Jane asks, "Oh, if Hodges wasn't the informant, who was?" So he's dropping hints again, brewing paranoia. He's stirring his paranoia pot.
Yes, and At this point, Vaughn seems to understand that Jane's just pushing buttons,
Yeah.
and just talking out of the side of his mouth here, but his, number 1 guy, Xander, is showing some concern.
Yeah. He's looking at him like, this is kind of sus. Is he for real?
Yeah.
Cho talks to Miss Guthrie, who I'm going to just refer to as Felicia because they revealed it. Her name is Felicia. But she admits to vandalizing Hodge's office, and she says that, he told lies about her brother to get Vaughn off, and she's so upset. And Cho like poses the idea that she had motive. She's an outwardly angry person,
Yes.
and that since she couldn't get to Vaughn, he thinks that you probably went for the lawyer because he's easier because Vaughn always has bikers around him all the time. She insists that she didn't kill him, but she says she is glad he's. And I do want to say that the victim in this one doesn't seem like a good guy.
No. No, I would not say he's likable to any degree.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people with motive in this one. He's got a girlfriend who wants to break it off with him. He's got a son who killed him. A wife who
Knew about
knows
his
that he's
affair
cheating. Yeah, and
and that he's into drugs, started using
yeah,
drugs.
he's not very likable. But Lisbon, Cho, and Jane talk about whether she actually did it. Cho thinks it's possible she could have, but Jane says, why don't we just let her go and follow her? And Lisbon agrees. So Jane gets up to leave, says he needs fresh air. He quotes Shakespeare, and it's a quote that Cho recognizes, which I thought was cool. But Jane is heading back to the Hodges' house. He finds the son Lucas practicing driving on the driveway. And boy, he is like chewing up that car
Well, there's not a lot. I mean, it is a bigger sort of driveway, but he's basically just driving in
in a little
very
circle.
short circles and braking a lot,
So
like
is it a standard
stopping.
shift car? Because what, like an automatic car doesn't make those grinding sounds, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he's really doing poorly.
But he talks to Lucas about Felicia Guthrie because she had told Cho that she showed up at the house to confront Gordon, but she saw the son was there and she left. But apparently they still had like an interaction together. So he talks to the son and he like is like, oh, can you tell me about what happened on the day she came? And he tells her that she was ranting about all kinds of stuff, and that Jane's like, well, why didn't you tell us about this? And he says, well, I just felt sorry for her because I don't know. I mean, I would too, because I mean that's his dad, right? And his dad basically,
Yeah,
yeah,
messed over her life, yeah.
yeah. He goes back to driving practice, and he's once again being very terrible at it. And Jane ends up going with him for a drive, and he actually drives nicely.
Well, look, he can do it.
But I mean, Gene is pretty smooth here. He's like being very friendly and like
Yes, praising
complimenting
him.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then he kind of eases into questioning him. And I do wonder if this is legal on Gene's part, even though he's only a consultant. Like, do you think he's allowed to talk to him? Because I'm assuming he's a minor.
Yeah. Even later when they pull him in, after he confesses, he doesn't have a lawyer
Yeah.
or adult, like, in the room with him. His mom's watching from the next room.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Like, I would think that the
Yeah.
mom would have insisted she be in the room so that she could, like, tell him, stop talking.
Yes. Although the only indication of his age is that he's practicing driving, which
Practicing driving.
technically could have been he could be an older he could be 18 and just learning how
Oh,
to
yeah,
drive,
that's
although,
true.
I mean, that's not as conventional in the States, but
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that because I think the driving age here now is 18. When I was a teenager, I could get my permit when I was 15.
Yeah, and I did look it up. It did look like, 16 is the age in California
Oh, okay.
for a license, but I don't know. It would I would feel like he would be a more conventional MB-15,
Yeah.
but he also just doesn't look 15.
And I think it's also maybe why Jane went by himself. Maybe Lisbon couldn't talk to him, and Jane knows
Yeah.
he shouldn't talk to him, so that's why he just was like, "I'm going out for fresh air,
Yeah, yep.
and then I'm gonna go
Uh-huh.
talk to this minor that I'm not supposed to talk
Uh-huh.
to during driving practice." But I mean, he talks to him about his dad, and he guesses correctly that his dad probably wasn't the most patient teacher, that he was probably always on his phone. And he asks how Lucas felt about his cheating and his drug use, and Lucas tells him, "Well, he promised he would stop." And Lucas tells him, he kind of hints like, "Oh, maybe it was your mom. She had motive," but he's like, "No, she didn't do it." And he tells him again he just felt sorry for Felicia. But they get back, and Jane compliments sandwiches his interrogations. Like, right? He started off complimenting, he ends with complimenting him. He tells him to follow his instincts.
They're always right.
But it's kind of sad that he's like teaching this kid how to drive, knowing that he's probably going to end up
Ugh.
getting him arrested.
Yeah. Well, did he know that at the beginning of the drive, though? Do you
I
think
don't
he went
know.
into it knowing, or does he figure out during the
I
drive?
I think he suspects. That's why he went to go talk to the kid. But
Sure.
so next we go to Cho and Rigsby. They're staking out in front of Felicia's house because remember that they said they were going to watch her. But it Cho is reading in the dark again. Oh my god. How he doesn't have glasses is beyond me. This man is ruining his eyes with every stakeout. But Cho casually asks, "Any progress with Van Pelt?" And he's like, "Nope." But then they hear motorcycles approaching and they suspect that, oh, the Sinner Saints are coming for revenge because they heard that she might have killed Hodge. And so they arm themselves. Did you notice how Rigsby was holding his gun with his wallet badge, like right next
Yes.
to the gun?
Yes. I'm like, with that many guys on bikes, do you really think they're gonna respect a badge?
I know. It's the wallet badge, though. Maybe it's got special powers. But they tell the Saints to stand down, and they actually do, and they drive past them.
Phew.
But the
I think
next
it
morning,
helps that Cho has that huge shotgun.
I know.
I think that was more persuasive.
So the next morning, Jane steps out of Felicia's house with a cup of tea that he's drinking. It's in a disposable cup, though, which I think is intentional. She demands to know what's going on and what they're doing there. She accuses Jane of going through her laundry looking for a weapon. He's like, "This is your closet, actually."
Oh, he's so antagonistic here.
He's like, "And I was looking for blood spattered shoes."
Oh, no.
And she's like, "Get off my property." So he walks over to Cho and Rigsby and they're like, "Did you really look in her closet?" And he's like, "I looked in her closet and her laundry."
I looked everywhere.
I looked everywhere. And I love how they're just looking at him like, wow. But he like totally plays Rigsby here. He's like, "I looked everywhere but the garbage." And he's like, "Why aren't you looking at the garbage?" She's like, "Because it's garbage." And Rigsby's like, "Fine." Which is funny because just in the last episode, Rigsby was like, "I don't want to look in the garbage. I just bought this suit."
Yep.
But it's actually just a bin, so maybe not too bad. But he's basically hinting, "I need you to go check out the garbage." And Rigsby totally bites and he's like, "Are you done with your tea?" And he takes the cup and tosses the tea and he goes to go throw it in the garbage bin. And he just so happens to find the missing cufflink from George
What?
Hodge. And
How though? I wanna know. I mean, it gives space here. It shows that Jane, like, threw away his tea bag
or
right before
something.
he went over or something.
Yeah, because he went
So
to that same garbage bin that
but the size of a cufflink and the big I mean, it's not like a dumpster, but it's a big bin, and Rigsby just finds it.
I think because if I went back and I looked at when Jane went to the garbage bin, and he kind of just makes a motion like he's throwing something in there. So I think he just tossed it on top of whatever was on top. So because he needed Rigsby to find it quickly, right? So
Yeah.
because of that, they arrest Felicia Guthrie, and then back in the TBI, Mrs. Hodge and Lucas are there, apparently at Jane's request, and they're like, "What's going on?" But Jane asks that Felicia be taken through the bullpen. Lisbon's like, "What is going on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just closing your case." But he tells Mrs. Hodge that Felicia killed her husband. They have evidence, and he like holds up the cufflink, and he's like, "We just need a formal statement from your son so that we can put her away for 25 plus years."
Oh my
But
goodness.
Jane like makes a show of taking her away, and like he's like saying all these things to pressure Lucas into feeling bad and feeling guilty. And he's not subtle about it. He's like poking his head in, looking at Lucas, like, "Are you gonna do it yet? Are you gonna do it yet?" And eventually he does. He confesses because I guess she's protesting like the whole way they're taking her away. She's like, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And like his mom was like, she called her a bitch, right? Or something. It's just,
Yes.
there's basically all these injustices that are stacking up against this woman that Jane knows that he felt sorry for. So he's playing on that.
That's so much pressure for a teenager, though.
I know, it's sad. But I mean, what do you think that says about Jane though? Because he's very hard against killers. So once he knows that Lucas killed his dad, I feel like he mostly just pretends to be sympathetic and he just wants to get him. Like he's always, a lot of times he's just very focused on catching the killer, right? Because as
Yeah.
we mentioned, Gordon Hodge is not a likable person, but he was still killed by somebody, right? So
Right. But he we also see him in other episodes show leniency to
yeah,
teenagers.
yeah. So
So
what do you think was different about this one? Because he was kind of a sympathetic killer. He wasn't like a brat or like somebody who was like
right.
callous about what he did. He
Yeah.
clearly was
And
conflicted about it.
we see later that Jane has his own baggage with his father.
Yeah.
So I it surprises me a little bit how Jane
It's
stays
so hard on him, right? So
yeah.
focused.
Yeah.
In interrogation, Lucas tells a story about how he was out for a driving lesson with his dad, who was like angry with him the whole time about his driving, which was, and having been at the receiving end of a very stressful driving session with my own dad, I know that like the stress and anxiety of performing with someone who is already just kind of like antagonistic about your driving ability, it can make you so much worse. Like
Yes.
you're trying to do good and just everything goes wrong, and it's just like you're just thinking like, I don't normally drive this terribly. What is going on? But so his phone kept ringing, and so finally Lucas grabbed it from him and he listened, and he heard Diamond's voice, and she was like, "Hey baby, I just wanted to talk to you." And so this explains why Dime or Constance says that she
Yeah.
called him, he picked up and didn't say anything. And then that was the last time. That was the last call he got before he died. But it was basically because Lucas was just listening. And then he pulls over, he throws his phone in the woods, and they fight like physically. Like he throws his son down and everything, and that's when
Mhm.
he picks up a rock and he smashes his dad on the head twice, I might add.
And then immediately calls his mother, and she tells him how to cover it up.
which is to steal all his jewelry and everything that, but and his money and everything. But he forgets the phone and he can't get that last cufflink off. And so they arrest him, and Lisbon outside wonders out loud, how did that cufflink get into Guthrie's garbage?
Oh, I wonder.
She's like, I think if I go, what did she bet? She said, I would bet something. If I
If
go
I
to evidence, it's not going to be there. And Jane admits to making it happen so that he could have this little scenario and get him to confess. And Lisbon scolds him because he's saying that he made Felicia Guthrie think she was being arrested, and she's already been through so much, which totally fair.
Yes, but also she was trespassing and,
Vandalizing,
vandalizing and all of this, so she's not innocent either.
but not she's not a murderer.
But she's not a murderer.
But he admits, okay, yeah, she does deserve justice. So Lisbon snarks at him and he tells her sarcasm is the lowest form of wit. Okay, so next we go to the club. Vaughn gets a call and he goes outside. Jane is waiting for him in this ridiculous outfit.
He's like the worst spy costume, like the most cliche spy costume.
He's wearing a hat and a trench coat, and he's telling Vaughn, "Oh, we found out that Hodge's son killed him." He's like, "Okay, why are you telling me this? And why are you dressed like that?" But Gene hands him an envelope just as his gang comes out of the clubhouse, and he says, "Name if you open that envelope, the name of the rat in your gang will be revealed." And so he does open it, and Gene fades into the darkness. But he turns around and like they're like, "What's in your hand?" And like so he's like, "Oh, it's what does he tell them what Jane said? I don't know." But they look at it and it's actually cash. So basically everything that Jane has been building up to this point about the informant has been building up to this little scenario where he makes his own gang turn against him because they think that he's the informant. But they seize him and they take him back inside, and you know that nothing good's gonna come his way. But Jane tips his hat at Felicia Guthrie, who's watching from her car, and then she drives off.
So did Jane tell Felicia to be there so that he could have this little show for her? Or
I think he did.
okay, because I wouldn't put it past Felicia to just be there
Be
because
stalking.
they told her to stay away, and she's like, no, not until you arrest him.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could be either, but I don't know that it matters. Main
No.
thing is that he was there to um, show her what he ended up doing, right? So, but that's the end of the episode. So, cold reading. At what point does Jane crack the case? I put down that it's during his driving lesson with Lucas. Just the way that their conversation gives Jane the final clues that he needs to figure out that it was him.
Yep. Yep. A lot of pieces come together because, yeah, he's doing all the probing about how Lucas is feeling about his father.
Okay, hot reading.
There's a moment where they show a bridge with the sign Sacramento County Line. And it's a historic I Street bridge in Sacramento. So whether that's stock footage or they wanted to do a little bit more atmosphere there.
And then in the beginning, Cho refers to the local chips while at the Hodges. The term chips is slang for California Highway Patrol, or CHP. And there was a famous police show called Chips too for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Although I've never watched that show.
No.
I do know what they look like though. They're in the brown uniform with sunglasses and they ride bikes, right?
Yeah, and they've got the big mustaches, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the Shakespeare line that Jane quotes is the one that's, "Oh, my offense is rank, it smells to heaven, it hath the primal eldest curse upon it." And that's from Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 3. And
That's
then
why
the
he needs fresh air. I love that.
I thought it was cute that when he says it, Cho is kind of like half smiling because he I guess because he recognizes it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess he was proud of himself for knowing what that was. So the quote "sarcasm is the lowest form of wit" is from Oscar Wilde, and it's also used in the season 3 episode Bloodhounds. It's actually used against Jane, right?
I
By Dr.
think so.
Montague. All
Yeah.
right, rewatch checklist. Just been moments. There wasn't too many. It was very partnery
Yeah.
this
Yes.
episode.
I put down that Lisbon chooses Jane as her backup to go to the biker bar.
Yeah,
So that's either foolish or that's a lot of trust. She would have to
yeah.
trust that Jane won't poke them too much and
So
antagonize them.
yeah. So I didn't notice any of our 3 locations we're looking for. Nothing added to the punch list. Although I wouldn't have been surprised if Jane had gotten
No,
punched in this episode. I'm
me
surprised he
too.
did.
Yep, me too.
Suit watch. He is wearing, and I do want to know that someone posted on the subreddit again saying that why does Jane wear the same suit all the time? And he doesn't. I know this from Suit Watch. Today, or in this episode, he wore 3 different suits. At least 3. He might have worn another one at the ending, but I don't think he did. But he, in the beginning, he's wearing a matching light gray pinstripe suit with a light blue shirt, and then he switches to his other 2 are mismatched ones. He's wearing a gray pinstripe vest. I don't know if it's the same one from the first outfit, but he's wearing dark gray pants and jacket, and with a light blue slash white thin striped shirt. And then finally, he has a navy blue vest with a charcoal gray suit and a blue and white hairline striped shirt. Cheat watch. We added this one because
Yep.
the victim was sleeping with a biker.
And
Nothing added
Revenge
to
Watch, I wasn't sure if Felicia counted as a revenge watch. What do you think?
mm, I don't know. Probably I would say no because it was vandalism, not murder. So
Okay.
then nothing added to Red John, nothing added to Lisbon Watch. And oh, was Rigsby holding his badge right side up?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Jane's Harometer. This is where we consult with our friend in the bullpen, Expanse Lover, and then Karin and I will also rate Jane's hair. So I gave him an 8. This episode would be what I consider to be baseline Jane hair, which is his. He looks nice and clean cut. His hair was kind of long in the last episode, so he got a haircut in between before this one. He was more short, but he still looked a little rascally too. So
I also gave his hair an 8. I thought the curls were well tamed and looking fine.
okay, Expanse Lover's in-depth hair analysis is we're getting closer to the freer curls coming up soon. It still looks like there is too much hair product in some scenes, especially in the interrogation scenes. It makes his hair look too dark and greasy for my taste, but it doesn't seem to hold down the curls as much as in others. In the outdoor scenes, his hair looks brighter, so it may be the lighting in some cases. The
Mhm.
sides are growing out, and we will soon see that full head of luscious curls, so that's progress. It's a very uneven look during this episode, so I give it a 7.5. Okay, favorite lines. Mine is just his whole sarcasm is the lowest form of wit. I like when he says that.
Yep. I chose Rigsby's line. His cologne tells you he had enemies. And for the Zinger of the week, I chose You Really Don't Like Bikers.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll come back with our new Memory Palace quiz. All right, we are back and we have a new Memory Palace quiz for you this week. The way this works is I'm going to ask 6 questions about the episode we just discussed, and you'll have 5 seconds to come up with the answer. And I'm going to say that this is probably a harder quiz than
Yeah.
typical.
I have no idea what you're going to ask. Zero clue.
Okay. First question, easy question. What color bandanas do the Sinner Saints wear?
Red.
Very good. Question 2. What did the victim's cologne smell like according to Jane?
Ah. Oaken?
Oki.
Oaky?
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Yeah, he says Oki. It's so funny though. The subtitle said okay. But it was clearly Oki. All right, question 3. What did Felicia's brother do for a living?
Auto mechanic.
Very good.
Phew.
Wow. See, I should say that it's hard all the time. We'll do better.
That's right.
Well, I mean, now we're going to get hard. So,
Okay.
question 4. What kind of tattoo does Diamond have on her right shoulder?
I know she has a spider web.
Oh, very good. Very
But
good.
she has other tattoos also, I believe. So
Well, I said right shoulder, and that was the spider
that was the
web.
right one. Phew.
Very impressive. Okay. Question 5. How much did Jane guess Gordon Hodge weighs?
$192.
Oh my god! You are killing it. Okay, final question. What magazine does Jane read about the Sinner Saints in?
Oh.
Come on, you can get perfect if you get this one.
Silver Wheels?
No!
No.
Street Cycle.
Oh.
Very close though. 5 out of 6. Very good job. All right, any last thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's nice to have an episode that digs a little bit more into Rigsby's background here,
Yeah.
introducing his father. I don't know, it's pretty standard, I think, this
Yeah, it's a pretty
episode.
good standalone episode.
Yeah.
All right. If you're enjoying Rom-Com Detectives, please consider taking a minute to leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're on Spotify, Reddit, or YouTube, please leave us a comment answering our question of the week. What kind of CBI merchandise would you pitch to the team?
Nice.
If you'd like to join additional conversations about The Mentalist, you can visit the Mentalist subreddit at reddit.com/r/The Mentalist, and you can join the Mentalist Bullpen Discord server at discord.gg/mentalistbullpen. To contact me and Karin, email us at host@romcomdetectives.com. Follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, or Threads at romcomdetectives. If you'd like to ask us a question or tell us your own thoughts, you can leave us a voicemail or text message at 1-650-733-XOXO or 9696. This episode of Rom-Com Detectives was recorded on May 19, 2026. Rom-Com Detectives Mentalist Unit is co-hosted by Krista Watanabe and Karin Lubbers and is produced by Pico's House. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you guys next time for our breakdown of Season 2, Episode 5, Red Scare.
Bye.
Bye.